Hi, this is Dan from UserSpice.com. I thought it'd be interesting to try to do a live install on an actual live server, the new version of UserSpice. It's version 4.0, completely rewritten from the ground up. It's all object-oriented, and it's even more designed to just kind of get out of the way. So I thought I'd show you what we're working with. Again, this is beta software, so no telling what's going to go wrong. I uploaded the actual zip file to the server. This is a HostGator shared server. And you could upload the individual files, but I've just kind of found it's faster to extract everything on the server. There's over 1,500 files in this package, and so, you know, uploading them one at a time would take a while. So anyway, I'm just going to unzip them, and then I had sent this to danhoover.org/live. You'll notice I've automatically been redirected to the installer. And this is something new I wrote. It's something I'm going to be releasing open source. It's basically designed to write your config file for you. I think it's kind of lame to tell people for the first step of your installation to go in there and edit some config file. So this does it for you. It checks the server for your minimum system requirements, checks to see if everything's writable, and walks you through the process. At any time you get screwed up, you can just reset and start over, and it'll put all your files back the way it was when it found it. So I'm going to hit continue, and we're going to start off with the most difficult part. You can see that my path that this thing is installed in is this /live, and so on some servers you need this beginning slash and some you don't. So if you mess it up, you can fix it later, but anyway, we're going to start with this. I'm going to put live. Now I can tell you for a fact on WAMP you don't need the beginning slash, and you can also have a different folder for when you're on localhost versus when you're on live, which I think is kind of cool. So anyway, I'm going to save the settings and go on to the next step where I'm going to fill out my database credentials. This should be blurred out, so hopefully you're not seeing them. Then what's cool is it's not a crapshoot anymore. You can actually just test these settings right here before you go any further and make sure. So it's going to tell you the database connection was successful. Your tables were imported successfully. So we're going to save those settings and go on. Another thing some people have had issues with is getting their keys right for their reCAPTCHA. So I decided I'd make a little test that lets you know that your keys are right before you go on. So I'm going to copy these keys. These are the test keys. I'm going to fill in my copyright message just because I thought this was a good place to do this. And I'm going to test these settings now. And so because the reCAPTCHA popped up, I know that my keys are correct. So that popped up, I can hit save. And now I'm basically done. So I'm going to clean up the install files, and I'm going to delete all the CSS and all the garbage I was leaving behind on the server. And it's going to take you to this ugly page and just tell you that everything should be installed properly, but if you get an error, you might have that extra beginning or ending slash that I was talking about. You can take a look at the errors. It'll be really easy to see that you have an extra slash or you're missing one. But anyway, so I'm going to come here, and I am at UserSpice. It actually installed right. That blows me away. The alpha and beta versions have some default users installed in there, and one of them is just admin and password. And so I'm going to go ahead and log in. And then when I log in, hopefully, if all goes well, yep, I'm taken right here to the install panel. And so I can come in here, and it has this Gravatar feature. So if I were to come in here and change this to, let me see, there might already be one on this. I'm going to try it. UserSpicePHP@gmail.com. I cannot type. That might already be the other user. Yep, it's good. So it actually brought up my Gravatar automatically. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, this is basically the area that you can create, make it whatever you want for your users, like as a little panel for them. Then you have this administrative panel where you can come in here and manage all these pages. It tells you have 18 pages. You can come in here and manage them just like you could on the other one. You can decide which user groups have access to it, whether they're private or public. So it works similar to the other one, except we're going to be getting a little bit more graphical on this, on this stuff. I've got my users, my user levels. I have my 2 users that are in here, these 2, Test Guy and UserSpice PHP. And then I can change my email settings, and so it just kind of works. But the thing I really want to show you is when you come back over to here, I'm going to refresh. The only things in your root folder are this index.php and this error log, which HostGator actually created. This you can delete, it's not important. But these are the only things in here, which means that you can create whatever you want in this root folder. It doesn't matter. You can make subfolders, and UserSpice can control it. The big thing is that now UserSpice does what I've always said I wanted it to do, which is get out of the way. Build whatever you want. Everything UserSpice related is in here. There's just a ton of files up there. You have access to these classes, but you can use them or not use them. UserSpice just doesn't really care. So anyway, I hope that leads to you guys building really cool things. Go over to the forums at userspice.com if you have any questions.